friend, let me ask you, do you have a puppy that acts, well, like the typical puppy? You know, crazy, rambunctious, doesn't listen, will literally run circles around you? Well, what if I told you that you could train that puppy to heel, walk perfectly with you, on or off leash, in 30 minutes? If you like that, you better stay right there. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. So many new people, y'all. It's really great to see. You all have been very kind, most of you, giving some very supportive comments. Very, very awesome to see. If you're new here, basically I am all about showing you how to get the perfect dog. I'm talking the Disney Channel dog. You know what I'm talking about. Come on now. I show you how to do that in the best way, most efficient way possible for both you and your dog. So if you want to learn that too, please consider subscribing. Well, I think that's enough self-promotion for one video, don't you? First order of business. I see this all of the time, and you probably do it too, which is part of the reason you're watching this video right now. Do not use a retractable leash or a harness when you want your dog to walk nicely with you. When you don't want your dog to pull, these are the worst things that you could be using. A retractable leash, I know it's convenient, but it never allows the dog to anticipate when it's running out of leash, because it's always changing. It never can say, oh, I think I might be getting ready to run out of leash, let me slow down. And a harness just makes it super comfortable for a dog to pull. So do not use these. All right, so now we know we've got to get her out of this retractable leash and into a slip lead. The slip lead is my favorite tool. I will say you don't want to start training too early, but you can definitely train puppies though. That's not to say you can't train puppies with the slip lead. It's a very effective tool, especially when you correct how I'm correcting. You will not injure your dog in any way, shape, or form. But as you can see, as soon as I put it on, I immediately started the leash corrections when she pulls. So the key is you do not wait until the dog has been pulling for a second or two. As soon, the very moment of the instant that you feel pressure on the leash is when you correct. So as you notice, for that first part, we were standing still. Now we're gonna move, but at first you wanna stand still, so it just gives the dog less to figure out, okay? It makes it a little more simple for the dog. But as soon as they kind of get the point that you're not going anywhere, and you'll see them, they'll settle down, or they'll just stand right by you for a while, or they'll sit down, lay down, they'll do something to say, okay, I got it, we're not going anywhere, okay? And then you need to start moving, because you have to create the challenge. You have to show the dog that what you want isn't necessarily to just stay by me. What you want is not to pull on the leash. You want the dog to ultimately follow you. So you can see, as I was walking backwards, she was smelling something, but I was still moving backwards. So the attention was still on the leash. So she was continually getting corrections because she was pulling on the leash. There was tension in the leash. You see, she's looking at something, but if I wanted to really challenge her, I'd start walking backwards. And then, you know, of course, she would get a correction. But the point is, she in that moment was not watching me. That's a problem, okay? When you train this way, and the dog has to figure out how not to reach the end of the leash, they're gonna learn, oh, I have to watch this person at all times. Whenever I'm with them and I'm not allowed to just be out to play, I have to be watching this person, okay? So it seems cruel, but you have to teach the dog what it is exactly that you want. So we're still just walking. I know I'm correcting her, but I'm still her best friend. I still love her. I still want her to do good. That's why I'm doing this, so she can go more places with me, and she can spend more time with me and have more fun, ultimately have a better life. So I pet her up after a while, you know, After she has a good couple seconds of not pulling, I pet her up. You know, keep the good feelings, the good vibes going. Now you'll notice that sometimes I'm looking at the dog. Sometimes my head is up. Sometimes, it's a little bit of both. But you really don't have to look at the dog. In fact, with older dogs, I hardly ever look at the dog. I just walk, and when I feel the leash in my hand, that means that they have come to the end of it, I just automatically, no questions asked, correct. But for puppies, you kind of got to watch them a little more, because they'll go between your legs so quick. They'll go between your legs so much and trip you up. But besides that, if they're not going to trip you up, I would recommend not looking at the dog, because then you don't anticipate them pulling, but more importantly, you don't see them pulling and say, oh, well, they look like they're about to stop, and decide not to correct. You don't ever want to do that, because ultimately, the more you correct, the better the command is going to be. You have to think of it like that, because that's the truth. The more you correct, the more corrections you can put in, the more mistakes the dog makes, the better it understands what it is that you want. Okay, that's exactly what we want here. We want the dog to understand every parameter of our command. And the only way you do that is by putting it through a lot of different situations and being incredibly seriously precise with the timing of your corrections to know what exactly it was that it did that was wrong. Now you can see this is starting to look pretty familiar. It's starting to look a little repetitive, but you have to continue to be precise with your corrections, because puppies and dogs alike, they will be stubborn. They're not getting it. And then bang, the very next minute, perfection. They understand exactly what you were wanting the whole time, and bang, they get in line. So you have to stay strong. Do not get discouraged. Just continue correcting, because it's going to be, you're pretty much one correct away. That's how you have to look at it, because that's how it is. It's not normally a slow, oh, they're getting smarter, oh, they're following better. It's usually like bang, instant. The last one was terrible. But the next one is exactly what I want. So now I'm trying a no leash follow. Let's try to just see where she's at, seeing if she's gonna follow me. And she's doing pretty good. Now this is only after she's been doing the one where I have the leash. She has not pulled on it for a good couple of runs. So I wanted to see where she was at. Okay, she proved that she was understanding the concept of not pulling on the leash. But now I'm trying to see if she understood the concept of following me to not pull on the leash ultimately. And you can see she's a little bit slow. She's not quite as focused on me as I'd like, but I'm just trying to see right now. I'm not going to go too long without her having a leash on her, because I don't want her to learn this. I simply just want her, don't pull on the leash so firmly that when it is time to put down the leash and work with off leash things, I know that she understands the concept correctly. For demonstration's sake, I really went longer off the leash than I usually would. I usually take 1 or 2 passes and then I put the leash back on. Like, even if the dog did perfectly, I just put the leash right back on, so that I don't teach any bad habits accidentally that I have to work through again. So I wouldn't recommend trying the off leash runs for as long as I did. But once you get good at it, you will have a better idea at when the dog is ready to take the leash off. As you can see here, this was right at the 28-minute mark. We had the very good off-leash heel, automatic sit. It was good for her first session. I liked it, I enjoyed it, and I hope you learned something. If you did, please make sure to press the thumbs up button, give it a like, and if you want to learn more about how to train your dog, you know what to do. Press that big red subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one.